Welcome back, guys. This is episode 2 of Rookie Watch, where I'll be taking an in-depth look at some of the most exciting players who have had a rookie card released for the 23-24 season. I'll be sharing with you their profile, their style of play, their international and domestic form, and more importantly, do these players make a viable investment for the future? So stick around. If you haven't seen episode 1, I seriously encourage you to do so. I think the player still has some value to be exploited there, so I'll leave a link in description. But for now, we need to take a look at this guy.
John Duran has it now. John Duran on his left boot, goes for goal, finds it!
Well, if you didn't know who John Duran was before this weekend, you certainly know now. I think that wonder goal has even alerted the most passive investors to his potential. In fact, I've sold all of my John Duran cards since Saturday and I have doubled my investment, but more on that later. But first, let's have a quick run through of his profile. John Duran plays for Aston Villa, he's from Colombia, he's 20 years old, he plays as a striker and is left-footed. Duran joined Villa from Chicago Fire for £15 million in January 2023. At the time, Man United were apparently scouting him too, but seeing as they implemented a transfer policy of setting fire to their supporters' hard-earned cash by buying Ten Hag's X's and Real Madrid's sloppy seconds, they decided not to pursue him. Duran is strong, he is aggressive, he is pacey, he can finish. Not a lot of strikers possess all of these qualities. He can hold the ball up for runners in behind him. He can play off the shoulder. He can do pretty much anything that you ask him to do. At international level, Duran plays for Colombia. You may have seen that they reached the final of the Copa America earlier this year, but Duran hardly featured at all in that tournament. But in Colombia's last game against Argentina, which was a rematch of the Copa America final and where Colombia exacted some revenge by winning 2-1, Duran actually started. Colombia like to play a 4-3-3 system with Luis Diaz on one side and James Rodriguez on the other side, so they need an old-fashioned target man just like John Duran to lead the line. So going into the next World Cup, Colombia don't really have any other option other than Duran. The player keeping Duran out of the team during the Copa America was the now 31-year-old John Cordoba, who plies his trade in the Russian league for FC Krasnodar. I cannot see him making it to the World Cup, so I can't see any other option than Duran. But now let's talk about his domestic team. After finishing 4th place last season, Aston Villa welcome elite European football back to Villa Park. This will give Duran the opportunity to showcase his talents in one of the most watched competitions in the world. Plus, with a more hectic schedule for Aston Villa this season, there's likely to be some more rotation, and that means more playing time for Duran. During Aston Villa's last game with Young Boys, we saw Ollie Watkins leave the field with an ice pack strapped to his leg. Now, this may be precautionary, but I don't think Aston Villa are going to want to risk him given the number of games that they've got this season, which should mean even more playing time for Duran. So let's touch on his domestic form. Duran's raw quality was there for everyone to see when he scored that goal against Crystal Palace, where he chested the ball down, somehow managed to wrap his foot around the ball, which was behind his body, and struck it so cleanly and with so much venom that the goalkeeper didn't know what happened before the ball hit the back of the net. This is when he caught my eye as a possible investment. But the only unknown was, can he become consistent? But that is exactly what we are seeing now. He has started the season with 3 goals in 4 games. That's already impressive, but when you see that he's only playing 26 minutes per game, that means he is scoring a goal every 34 minutes, which is bananas. In fact, from all the current Premier League strikers who have scored 8 goals or more, he is scoring over 1 goal per game. He's placed second on this list, only behind that Norwegian fantasy football killing robot. If he continues like he is set for a big move to a big club. It's easy to forget, given his size and stature, that he is still only 20 years old, so he has got plenty of time to realise his potential. He won't even hit his prime for another 8 or 9 years. According to reports, Villa received numerous amounts of offers for him over the summer. There was an immense amount of speculation surrounding him, some of it fueled by himself, like when he cleverly decided to throw up the iron symbol on an Instagram live. Obviously, he didn't move to West Ham, and to piss off the Hammers fans even more, he scored the winning goal against them when the two sides met on the opening day of the season and celebrated by declaring to the Villa supporters that he is here to stay. So let's look at his rookie card sets. He is in the Panini product, he is in EPL Prizm, he is in the EPL Select, and he's in the Copa America. They're the most relevant ones in that order. This is good news as it puts a ceiling on the amount of rookies that John Duran will have, with little threat of Topps releasing their own rookie version later on. Topps usually respect the Panini rookie and won't release their own rookie version of John Duran 18 months later. As for his card sale history, let's take a look at some gold Prizms. The first gold Prizm numbered to 50 was sold in March for £107. Fast forward to August, during which time he scored a brace versus Liverpool, another gold sold for £168, and then another gold went in September for £158. Both of these reflect a 1.5x increase, a beautiful margin if you were flipping in his market. I also found a Copa America gold Prizm that sold for £265 in July, but bear in mind these are numbered to 10, not 50. But then it tanked to £115 3 weeks later, representing a negative 2.3x. I think this reflects the fact that the market prefers the EPL version and somebody just got caught out by the buy it now price, whereas the cheaper one was sold at auction. There cannot be much comparison of the next card, but I have to show it to you all because it's a f***ing beauty. A 1/1 Black Prizm rookie went for £782 in July. It's since been graded as a PSA 9 and I wonder what it's worth now. How much would you pay? Let me know in the comments. So overall, we can see that if you got on John Duran between release day and the last weekend, you should have seen a healthy return. I only managed to pick up 3 of his cards between March and April before he started his upward trend, one of which was a checkerboard, which I really shouldn't have done given that the pound margin wasn't sufficient at the time, but when I put it up for auction a couple of weeks ago, it exceeded all of my expectations and went for £15 after I paid a couple of quid for it. I also picked up a case hit Genesis, which I thought was a decent deal at the time, but his market in the Genesis version didn't really move, so I only managed to make about a tenner on it. But the big one in terms of pound profit margin was the green emergent insert number to 5, which I picked up for about 20 quid, put it up for auction, and it went for 68. So all in all, I managed to double my money with just 3 cards, and I wish I had bought more. To conclude, I rate him very highly as a player. I wish I could see him get some more minutes on the pitch with Ollie Watkins because I believe they've got a complementary skill set that would make them both shine. He's strong, he's fast, he can finish. He has this je ne sais quoi about him. He's got this confidence, this swagger. It's almost bordering on arrogance, but I think you need that to make it to the very, very top. So my player rating for John Duran is 4 stars. My investment rating is also 4 stars. Duran is getting a lot of attention at the moment, but let's not forget that Ollie Watkins is the main man at Villa. Duran's playing time is going to be limited, which should temper the hype that we're seeing around him at the moment, putting a stop to his price growth, leaving more room later down the line for his prices to pick up again. Duran would do extraordinarily well to keep up his goals to minutes ratio. I cannot see that happening, so I expect this hype to die down and his prices to take a tumble. This is when I would look to buy, not in his current market, because the longer term view is that he is going to improve as a player and potentially make a big move. However, the market does bake that future expectation into current prices, which is irrational. Let's not get carried away. He's only scored 8 Premier League goals. Let's not start thinking that he is the next Haaland and start pricing his cards accordingly. But it's that same beautiful irrationality that we see in the market that helps us exploit opportunities. Without him scoring that wonder goal at the weekend, I could still be sitting on John Duran cards as they depreciate. All in all, I made a very healthy return on John Duran's cards because I paid attention. I'm not some clairvoyant who can see into the future and see how these players are going to progress. I just pay attention. I simply pay attention to football. I watch a lot of games. I have a list of players that I like. I watch their highlights, I research them, I set up game notifications for them. I will take the deep dives into the rabbit hole, going through their career stats. I love it, I enjoy it, I am good at it. This is what will net the largest gains. I only needed to see him play once before I took a chance on him, before I looked at him as a possible investment. I was probably looking at him before 99% of the market, But when I say looking at him, I don't mean passively. I don't mean watching one of his games, seeing him score a goal and thinking, oh, John Duran's half decent. No, I make a note of it and I study him. But I get everybody in this hobby doesn't have the time nor the energy to do this. That's why I'm bringing you this series, so you don't have to do the work. Let me do it. Just subscribe to the channel, watch the videos, see who I'm covering, do your own research. If you're comfortable and you agree with me, pull the trigger before others do. There's a saying in the investment and trading circles that goes, buy the rumour, sell the news. I.e. in the soccer card market, buy when they're being linked with a big move, sell when they complete the transfer. Buy Jude Bellingham when he's being rumoured to be joining Real Madrid, sell when Fabrizio Romano gives the here we go. But you know what? His cards hardly nudged when he made that Real Madrid move. Why? Because the market started to bake this hype into his current prices as soon as Florentino Perez's dirty mind conjured up naughty thoughts of Jude Bellingham in a camiseta blanca, white jersey in Spanish. But who honestly thought that Jude Bellingham would start his career by scoring 10 goals in 10 games for Real Madrid? Well, apparently a lot of f***ing people, because his price is barely even moved. This is why you need to be there before the rumours. This is where my research can help you. I'm not saying do as I tell you. This is not financial advice. You must do your own research, but that is what I am telling you to do. Do your own research because the opportunities to exploit the market are there. Obviously, the money that I've made with John Duran cards is not life-changing because I didn't invest a substantial amount of money. He is just a small example. I have taken out positions way more substantial than I did on Duran because my due diligence and my research led me to believe in those players. I am not just preaching to the choir. I have taken out big investments on players all across the market. I wish in hindsight I had bought more Duran cards. But moving forward, I think the potential to see such big returns has diminished due to the nature of his performances. He makes headlines, so there are a lot of eyes on him now, and that just drives the hype. I still think he's a buy option, but you'll have to find a bargain in this current market. It can still be done for sure. I'll still be looking, and I'll be putting my money where my mouth is. Well, that's it for another video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's just a very simple and easy way to let me know that what I'm delivering is of value to you. If there are any rookies from this year's sets that you would like to see featured in this series, please comment down below. Don't forget to check out my website, www.goldcupcards.com. We've got sealed wax, slabs and singles. Panini Prizm 23-24 hobby box is on sale now for £225. That is the cheapest that I can find it anywhere. Don't forget to follow me on socials, Gold Cup Cards, for the latest product releases and auction alerts. Thank you once again, guys. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.